Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. For those of you who don't know, I started Grumpy Old Fart to express my political and social opinions and to say things that I felt needed to be said. Unfortunately, YouTube started giving me strikes. As a hedge against this happening, I've created backup YouTube channels, Grumpy Old Gamer and Grumpy Old Ufologist. I also created a channel called Grumpy Old Fart over on Rumble, a free speech alternative to YouTube. You can find all of my stuff there, including my political opinion and current events. The link to my Rumble channel, as well as links to let you order my books, are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an AD&D advice video on the weapon charts. I started playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons back in the 70s. I started with Chainmail and then the Red Box, and then we went to Advanced. And I started running AD&D back in 1979, 1980. I've been playing a long time. And over the years, I have noticed some discrepancies in the weapons charts. Here's how I deal with them. Now, this is not all discrepancies in the weapons charts, but just some clarification. Bows versus crossbows. Historically, crossbows were easier to use and required a fraction of the training a bowman would need. So, actual archers with actual bows required a lot more training than people with crossbows. In the game, bows fire twice a round, while crossbows only fire once per round. I think this is acceptable. I do, however, grant crossbows with a bonus of +1 to hit. That being said, they're more accurate with less training, but by the same token, they don't do as much damage. You see what I'm saying? Another advantage of a crossbow, and you can do this in your game as well. Another advantage of a crossbow is that in a dire situation, a crossbow can be used as a club because it's got a wooden stock on it, and it's nice and heavy. So, that is an advantage. Bows, you really can't do that. A crossbow can be used as a club. Now, speaking of clubs versus hammers versus mauls. According to the books, a club does 1 to 6, 1 to 3. A d6 and a d6 divided by 2, essentially. While a hammer does 2 to 5 and 1 to 4. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be hit with a club than a hammer. So I tend to increase the hammer damage just a little bit. I've seen people switch the club and the hammer small and medium damage so that the club would do 2 to 5 and 1 to 3. The hammer would do 1 to 6, 1 to 4. So I've seen that happen, and that's fine. The reason I do that is because a hammer is designed to do more damage than essentially a stick. I'd rather be hit with a stick than a hammer. Now, I also add the maul to my list. A maul is essentially a stone sledgehammer with a 2 to 3 foot handle, big heavy hammer. I list the damages as 2 to 6, 1 to 10 for purposes of the game, and it works out pretty well. Now, you can do that however you want. That hammer is not included in the game. That hammer is essentially an implement, a tool, but it works good in combat. The hammer listed in the book is a warhammer, which is it's lighter. One end is blunt, and the backside has a spike, and it's a warhammer. Okay, that's what that's designed as. Now the maul is a whole different critter. You see what I'm saying? Now, next one is daggers versus knives. And I think I talked about this in some of my other videos, but I'm going to put it in here as well. Both of these are great. But there are differences. In my game, I differentiate them like this. A dagger is a weapon. A knife is a tool. Both can kill, but in order to properly skin an animal, you need a knife. A dagger will get the skin off, but you won't be able to use the fur for anything. A knife allows you to skin an animal, a bear, for example, and cure the skin so that way you can cure the skin so you can use the fur. Check out my video. Cut the bargain cloak of no. Cut rate cloak of protection, something like that. It's a cheap version of a cloak of protection. A bear fur to keep you warm also gives you an armor class adjustment. So keep that in mind. So whenever somebody says I'm gonna skin the animal and keep the hide, I always ask, do you have a knife? Well, I've got a dagger. Yeah, that doesn't work. It's because of the shape of the blade. Okay. Horsemen's versus footmen's, whatever. A lot of people don't realize the situation here. A horseman's weapon is designed to be used from horseback. It must be lighter and longer. The reason being, you need a longer reach to hit the opponent from horseback. On top of that, you have to be able to use it one-handed. A footman's mace, for example, is a nice heavy implement. It's got a long handle, and you can really wail on somebody with that thing. But it's designed as a one or two-handed implement. A horseman's mace has got to be longer and lighter, and you use it. You have to be able to use it one-handed. You can use it two-handed, but it's designed to be used one-handed. You see what I'm saying? Those are the differences, and it's that way with a horseman's flail versus a footman's flail. A pick, a military pick, same way. Yeah, I mean they're all that way. Now, swords intended to be used from horseback generally have curved blades to expedite both drawing and using the weapons. If you're on horseback, you may not be able to draw a big heavy sword off your back or draw a sword from your side if it has a long straight blade. That being said, curved blades make it easier to draw from horseback. A long sword can't, like for example, a cavalry saber. A long sword can be used from horseback, but because it is heavier and has a straight blade, most combatants find it difficult if the battle lasts more than a few rounds. One moment. Sorry. Cat emergency. Okay. We have a new kitten, and she has a hell of a time getting off the bed because he's itty bitty. We have steps for them. My wife bought steps for the critters. Imagine that. Okay. But these are just a few of the discrepancies that I have found over the years. And if you find more, please put them in the comments. As a dungeon master, feel free to adjust the charts as long as the rules apply equally to everybody and you explain why you do it. There's a reason for it. That's fine. I was playing with a DM years ago who would give me minuses but wouldn't give reasons. You know, I'm trying to hit this guy. I'm going to have to give you a -4. Well, why? I'm just going to have to. Okay. You know, you got to have logical reasons for what you do, and some of the weapon damages and things like that don't make sense. So I tend to adjust them a little bit. Now, all that being said, you don't have to. The rules are playable as is. If you if you do adjust them, make sure your players know about it ahead of time, and make sure you have a reason. That's all I'm saying. I hope this finds everybody well, and I hope this helps the younger, less experienced dungeon masters. And if you want to leave comments to help out even more, please do so. I'm sure everybody would like to read them. I know I would. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.